Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I would like to share with you swatches and a makeup tutorial, so an eyeshadow tutorial using a brand new palette. Now last week the week before that, I shared with you the Morphe Copper Spice palette, and I shared a look and swatches with you from that palette. Today I want to share with you swatches and a makeup look, eyeshadow look, from the Bronzed Mocha palette. Now, as you will be aware, if you have recently viewed some of my videos, I have mentioned that I really enjoy the Makeup Revolution palettes, the amplified palettes. Now, they do look quite similar to the Morphe 35 palettes, and I have done a side-by-side comparison review on those palettes, because to be honest, I never was that impressed by those palettes, and I'm talking about the Morphe ones. The mattes were a little bit hit and miss. The shimmer shades they felt like they may fall out of the pan. They were very loosely packed, I felt, and I purchased these two palettes very hesitant as to what the quality would be like. Now, when I purchased the Copper Spice palette, that one really did appeal to me. I thought a little bit more because of the copper tones in that palette. So I thought I'd purchase that one and then see how I got on. Now, if you have viewed that, and I'll link that down below for you, you will know that I absolutely loved that palette. I was so impressed with it. The price point wasn't too bad. It was £19. However, I felt that they could be a little bit less expensive because of the Morphe 35 pans were, I think, between 21, I believe, and then 24, and then these are £19 and you're getting 10 less eyeshadows. Now this one is called the 25B. So yeah, I was so impressed by the Copper Spice palette that I decided to purchase the Bronzed Mocha. I couldn't pick it up from, and originally I actually purchased from beautybay.com or .co.uk, and they do now have the Bronzed Mocha and the Copper Spice back in stock today, as of today when this is going to go live. So I purchased, the Copper Spice was purchased from beautybay.com. I think that's the website. I always get confused whether it's .com or .co.uk. And then the Bronzed Mocha was actually out of stock on that website, so I picked mine up from beautychamber.co.uk. The palette was £19.95, and I also had to pay delivery as well, but to be honest, it is worth it because I love these palettes so much. However, I haven't swatched all the shades. I have already done an eye look as well with some of the shades as well. Now, when you receive it, it comes in a box like this. So you've got Morphe there with the red M. You also have a limited edition ribbon there, because these are limited edition. I don't know how long they will be available on these sites, so if you are looking to purchase them, then purchase them, I would say, sooner rather than later to not be disappointed. On the back it says, with this one, with shades of mellow, cabernet, warm brandy and mocha, this palette is as inviting as a steamy spiced latte on a crisp cool day. The mix of warm and cool mattes with neutral shimmers ensure easy everyday looks that never get boring. And on the back it gives you the name Bronzed Mocha, and then that it's the 25B, and obviously the Copper Spice is 25A. It comes wrapped in this bubble wrap sleeve, and then it also comes in this cellophane sleeve as well, which you just take off like that. And on the back it doesn't give you the name, so it doesn't say Bronzed Mocha, which would be a little bit helpful, but it does say 25B on there like the rest of the other palettes. So obviously 25 refers to the amount of pans, and then B is for Bronzed Mocha, and obviously, with the 35 series, the 35 refers to the amount of pans, and then there's a letter after it, you know, just like these, referring to the tones in there. Now this one itself looks like this, so let me just open it. And obviously the packaging is totally different. You also get one of these cellophane sheets over the top. Now this one is different. Obviously the first one that I shared with you had more copper tones to it. This one is more neutral with plums, browns, and you've got a whole row of shimmers there. You've got a shimmer there. And I really, really like this. I was quite hesitant with this one because I thought to myself, the copper tones, yes, I'm definitely going to get use out of this or that one, but this one, am I going to use it as much? And I must admit, I love this one. I think it's absolutely stunning for an everyday use, and the copper one stunning as well. So I'm really pleased that I picked up both of these. So the formulation on the Copper Spice I was really impressed with, and now obviously I'm going to swatch all of these shades for you so you can have a look, and if you're interested as well, you can either go ahead or not, depending on what you think of, you know, the swatches. So there's no names to these, so I'm just going to go across each one, so it will be from this way, that way, and so on. So the first one is a matte, and it's cream, and it looks like that. The next one is also matte, and it's more of a light caramel tone. The next one is a neutral but with a pink undertone. I love this. In fact, this is one of the shades I used in my eye look today. Perfect tone for me. The next one is more of a deeper caramel, more red in tone to the first caramel shade, but this is more red and more warm, gorgeous. And then the last one on the first row is even more intense, even more red toned, gorgeous. The second row starts off with an even deeper red toned brown. Love it. The next one is a cool tone brown. Next one, deeper, so another cool tone brown, taupey brown, and the next one is deeper. So you've got three taupey brown shades in, you know, this one's lighter, getting deeper, and then the last one on the second row is a red tone brown. Lovely. So the third shade, we're starting off with a shimmer. That's a golden shimmer. The next one is more of a pink tone shimmer. Gorgeous. The next one again is a shimmer. Wow, I love that. I wasn't expecting that at all from that one. That is gorgeous. The next one is more of a, actually I'm not going to guess until I've swatched it. It's more of a, I would say, well actually, is that it's a lovely colour. Gorgeous. The next one again is a shimmer. Absolutely loving those shimmers. They are such a surprise. I love them all. I used a couple in the tutorial, but these are gorgeous, stunning. So the fourth row, we start off with a matte brown. That's lovely, that one. The next one is a shimmer shade. Actually, those two are exactly the same colour, but this one is matte and this one is shimmer. The next one again is a brown. I'm just making sure, let me just do that one on my arm and then swap over to the other one. Yep, another matte. Then I'm going to move on to the other arm. I really like that colour. That is like a brick red brown. Love that. Then we've got it's like a purple brown, very unusual. And then the last row, that's the first one, that is incredibly deep, that one, deep brown. The next one is again a matte, another brown. If you love browns, you're going to love this. Another brown, matte. Then we have, it's like a violet colour, gorgeous, love that. And then the last one, that's the last one. Very deep shade. So that is all 25 swatched. This is really gorgeous, this palette. You've got a mix of cool tone, warm tones, gorgeous shimmers. You've got some muted, like a muted pink. You've got neutrals, obviously, warms, brick reds, browns, plums. There's so much versatility in this palette. It is gorgeous. Now I've got to be careful now not to get this all on my top, and I'm going to now share with you the tutorial. So this is the brush that I always start off my tutorials with. It is my favourite brush. It's the Primark eye brush, obviously from Primark, and these are £1. And the shade that I started off with, in fact, yeah, I'm going to keep on with this brush, is the first one I started off with is this one here. So I laid down a base of that one. So it's the top middle shade. Now, these do kick up a little bit of powder when you use them, but I am not really that bothered if a palette does that, because to be honest, what it means to me is, obviously I don't want too much and I don't want the whole pan falling out, but what it means to me is that if a pan does that, it means that when I do the second eye, I can just dip into that powder. And I find that when pans do that, say for example the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, I was a little bit concerned when I used that because that kicked up a lot of powder. But it just makes it very, very blendable, and this palette does the same. The Makeup Revolution palettes, they do that. I'm not talking about, you know, it's too much, but there's a little bit of it. Now, I'm getting carried away. I moved on to this shade here. Now this, I'm just going to go into the crease. So I've laid down that first colour, and then I go into the crease with this shade, let the brush do all the work. That's why this brush is so incredible, because you just put the tip into your crease and then just keep working that backwards and forwards. Obviously take it higher if you need to, and I'm just going to add a little bit more. So basically the brush does all the work for you. Then so that's basically the crease shade laid down. I'm going to go into this shade here down the bottom, so that gorgeous burgundy shade, and I'm taking the colour just on the flat, not all of the flat of the brush, but not the tip. It's very near the tip, and just getting a little bit of that colour, and then just putting it in the outer third of the lid, and then also on in the V as well, and just keep working that in until it gives you the intensity that you want. I just find it so easy to build it up gently and not putting too much colour on just to start with, and just keep building that up. Like that. Now I want to build it up a little bit more, and I'm going to go in with the shade there, so a little bit of that right on the tip of the brush, and so just put that in the outer V and that deep part there. So we're trying to build intensity and depth. I'm just going back to the plum shade. Now I'm going to swap my brush and use this one. It's a clean one, or it was until I blended this out. And I'm just going to blend this one so the colours are all nicely blended together. Lovely. And then what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of that second shade, the caramel shade, and just make sure that that is all blended at the top nicely. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is go underneath the eye, and I'm using the caramel shade, that second shade. That was on the end of the first row, and I'm going all the way under the eye. Now the brush that I'm using for that is the PS Pro Shading Eye Brush. I love this because it goes so nicely underneath the eye. So like that. Then I'm just getting a little bit of that plum shade. Lovely. Now I'm going to use the Unicorn's Dream, and it's the flat eyeshadow brush. I love these brushes. I love all of the brushes from the Unicorn's Dream set, and I think there's about 5, but I particularly love the eyeshadow brushes. I'm finding that I'm using those every single day. I mean, I love all of those brushes, I love them, but I just find that I'm grabbing for these so much, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving them. Now I'm going in with the first shimmer shade that I'm going to use, and it is this one here, so the second one along. And I'm just going to add that to the brush, and then I'm just going to first of all just sweep it on the eye, and then just pat it on. And then fill that eyelid in up until this point. You don't want to go over the darkness in the corner or on the outer third. So just pat that on, and then I'm going to, with my finger, get the gold shade, the first gold shade, or the first shimmer shade, I should say, that's gold. And just putting that on my finger. These are incredibly soft. And I'm just going to put that in the center of the eye for an added pop of shimmer. Gorgeous. Now I'm going back to that Unicorn's Dream, and I'm just going to go into the first shimmer shade that we used, and I'm just going to add that underneath and round the eye, just to add a little bit of brightness on the inner corner. And then I'm reverting back to this brush and just getting that second shade, the second matte shade again, and just going underneath that. Don't go over the top of the shimmer, just go underneath that, because I like that to go all the way along. Then I'm going back to my first Primark brush and getting a little bit more of that plum shade from the bottom row on, and just intensifying that outer third and blending in that gold shimmer, so there's no straight lines basically, so it's all nicely blended. And then I'm going to get my mascara, and it is the Nip and Fab mascara in black, but obviously you can use any mascara that you like, and I'm just going to add that now. And there we go, the look is complete, and I really like this. I'm going to take probably a close-up of my eyes and pop that image onto Instagram for you if you're interested in that. So that was the Bronzed Mocha palette, or the 25B palette from Morphe. I also just want to mention that the lip shade I'm wearing is from NYX, and it is, I know it's on here, it's Lace Detail, so it's that nude pink shade, and I've also got the NYX Natural lip liner on as well. And I was really surprised actually when I first picked these up that this shade that is very light actually works well with a lip liner. I love these so much. I wore these over the weekend because I've forgotten how good they were, and they just look absolutely stunning. So that is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the swatches. Again, I'm really impressed with this palette. I'm so pleased that I picked this up and gave it a go. And yeah, I may have a few more surprises for you over the next week of new makeup that I want to share with you. But this is what I wanted to share with you first of all. So I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, if you did, do give me a thumbs up. Or of course, if you just want to support me. My name now is and it's your right hand side, I believe. Yeah, looking at the screen, it's your right hand side. My name's Samantha, is just in that corner, and if you want to subscribe, you can just click onto that, and a square will come up that says subscribe, so you can subscribe that way, or of course you can subscribe the regular way, but I've now added that for you as well. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed that. I must admit, I'm loving that palette, and I couldn't wait to share that with you. So yeah, I'll be putting some more new items up over the next few coming days. So yeah, I can't wait to share those with you. But until next time, thank you. Bye.